Hey everybody, Real Estate Ninja here. I hope you're doing well. I have got an amazing recording to share with you from an insider with one of the largest home builders in the country. Now, this is a recording between Lennar home builders and all of their contractors. All right, things are happening fast. Real estate is collapsing and they are doing everything they can. They are literally scrambling for ways to sell homes. I bring you this information and I thank my insider for this, but I will say this insider, and I have so many amazing insiders, they want the truth out. They don't know how to put it out. This insider owns a lot of real estate themselves, their company, and they are graduates of the real estate crash course and got a ton out of it, even though they've been investing in real estate and are very successful in their own right. And so I'm going to play this video for you. I cannot wait. Or this audio, it is a rough recording. It just happened the other day. There's a lot of crackling. I'm going to play about 5 minutes of it and then we're going to talk about it. All right. With that being said, if you want to be part of the real estate crash course, how you can take action right now and get ready for this crash, which is so much bigger than 2006, 2008, I've put some discount links below. So it's $199, 80% off. When they're gone, they're gone. Here we go. This is a recording from one of the bigwigs at one of the nation's largest home builders in the country. And they are sharing with you, and they are going to ask their contractors to do something that most contractors are not going to be able to do. I'm going to explain that after this recording. It's about 5 minutes long. So here we go.
You benefited greatly from that volume.
Really quick, wait. Let me know down in the comments if you can hear the recording, because I'll have it up here close to my chest, up to the mic. And I want you to understand that this address, because I lost the first couple minutes of it, they're talking to all of their contractors, all the people that build the homes for Lennar, right? Their quote unquote partners. They're saying, hey, these were the quarter results that we just had a few days ago. We're going over them with you, and you benefited greatly. Your company's all benefited from us being successful in being able to market homes, identify where to build, and then hiring you to build these homes. Okay, so you benefited from that volume. Here we go.
And that relationship that we have together where you helped us maintain that volume has helped you and your businesses.
Can you hear it?
Well, unfortunately, we find ourselves here again today in a very interesting environment. Prior to this past week, we knew we were dealing with, again, a rapidly rising interest rate environment. And we've seen, once again, the need to reduce our sales price, to buy down mortgage rates at a more expensive cost in order to maintain our sales pace. And in fact, for a point of reference, from when we spoke to you a year ago, the cost of buying down the mortgage rates has tripled in the past year. But we have kept doing that in order to maintain our volume so we can continue our starts and deliver the volume to you that we promised.
Real quick, I got to stop there. Can you hear the tone of his voice? Think about the tone and how he's delivering this information, saying that they are continually having to buy down interest rates just to get buyers in the door, and that cost has tripled. You can tell this is serious. All right? All right.
Yeah, as we sit here today, and while we always tell you we don't have a crystal ball, it's very clear that we're in a more difficult environment. Because of the rate environment that I just mentioned, the interest rate environment for mortgages, also because of the impact of inflation that it's had on our consumer with the cost of all the goods and services that they need. With unprecedented political turmoil, both in the United States, where the first time ever a Speaker of the House was thrown out of that position, as well as global political tensions of a continuing war between Russia and Ukraine, and now with the tragic events in the Middle East, we are in very uncertain times.
All right, I got to stop there. Now think about this. I've been telling you this for quite some time. Every company in the nation and in the world actually is using every excuse they can in their playbook. Oh, it's not us. It's this, that boogeyman, or it's that boogeyman, or it's that boogeyman. They do not want to tell you the truth. The economy is collapsing. There are no more buyers. Price means nothing. Lennar has been really good at dropping prices pretty aggressively in 2022. They dropped them In around 70% of the nation, they dropped about 10%, but then they learned that buyers are freaked out by that red line. When it said 700,000, they put a line through it. Now they said it's 640, they dropped to 10%. Buyers were pulling back. Then they just took off the red line and they just dropped the price. You can tell they're pointing fingers at everyone else, but there is a massive crash. That is why you have to be prepared. You have to identify these cycles. Think about it. There are YouTubers out there that have been making YouTubes for a year about this channel saying the economic ninja is wrong, housing isn't going to fall, you're crazy. And those YouTubers just bought their first house. Think about this. All right. Again, thank you to my insider that shared this video. This tape is this is a recording, a secret recording that was pulled from Lennar, between Lennar and all of their contractors. If you're just jumping on, this is a big deal. Okay. This doesn't go out public, but this is a news channel. All right, here we go. So there we go.
But we are seeing in real time the stress on our consumer. What I can tell you is we have been and will continue to commit to you to exercise our strategy of pricing to market. If it takes lowering price, takes buying down mortgages at a more expensive pace. We have been doing that, and we will continue to do that in the face of these uncertain times.
Now he's about to ask in a minute or so something of these contractors. All right. So he just laid out everything that they're doing as a company to try and aggressively sell these homes that they cannot sell. And they're going to talk about these land purchases. Lennar they went out and bought a bunch of stuff. So now think about this. You have companies that are aggressively trying to buy land to build because the building environment for the previous years was awesome. Like ultra low rates, buy. And I've talked about the cycles of building homes between spec homes or massive developments, how many years it takes from the decision of just the contractor, the builder to go, hey, it's a good idea, let's build a house. And then going from identifying the property to the permit process to all this stuff until you can sell that house is years, right? Okay, now Lennar, Toll Brothers, all of these massive companies have found themselves holding the bag. They have a ton of land purchase that they identified a year and a half ago when this was a different market. And you are seeing this market turn so fast on its head that calls like this are happening. And I'm asking for any more insiders to share things with me so I can share with the public to get ready now to take advantage of the greatest housing collapse, that greatest housing crisis in history of our country. This is your time, but only if you prepare now. So here we go. So let's go back into this call.
That's the reality of the market that we face. But the good thing is that for Lennar, our strategy of selling at a consistent pace and starting at a consistent pace is something that you have seen over the past year, and even in the current months, is something that we have consistently done. This strategy has taken place even though mortgage rates went up last year and got up again this year. And what we have seen in the local markets is a dramatic increase in Lennar's market share. In fact, if you look at what all of the public home builders have reported and have guided Wall Street to, I can't speak to private builders, but we know that they're under tremendous stress because of the banking environment. But for public builders, Lennar is the only builder that has guided the street to increase deliveries for more volume this year, 2023, where we have guided to about a 10% increase in our volume, as well as we have guided to about a 10% increase in our volume for next year. No other builder has given you that volume, and in fact, the vast majority of builders are down in volume year over year based on.
All right, so let me explain something here. A lot of people, a lot of reporters on mainstream media, especially in the financial media, would think, oh, that's great. They're producing 10% more. Type 1 if you're a contractor. I'm just curious how many contractors or people in the building area, not just contractors, painting contractors, subcontractors, anyone in the building space that has a business. I'm curious if any of you are in here. I want to explain something that people don't understand. At the end of a cycle, of an economic cycle or real estate cycle, builders become busier and they've never made less money because margins shrink, because people want more for less as their budget shrink. And what happens is more and more, and if you guys see a couple of builders here, let me know if you agree with me. You become busier and you start to lose your company. It falls apart because you're keeping your guys busy and you don't realize that you're actually making less money, because most companies, especially big, large conglomerates, they don't pay attention to their month-on-month changes because of cyclical or seasonal changes, and they don't see the big picture. And before you know it, those companies close their doors. They just shut down. It's very fast. It's a crazy cycle. So when a company like Lennar says, hey, we've committed to this 10%, you have to remember they are a publicly traded company. They are trying their hardest to stop the hemorrhaging, the bleeding, the selling of their stock, because it hurts them. So they are saying, hey, we're committed to selling more. It doesn't mean they're selling more. We're committed to selling 10% more in 2023. Type 2, if you don't think that that's going to happen. Type 3, if you understand, yes, they're trying to tell you we're committed to selling more. Don't sell our stock. That's what's happening right now, okay? It does not mean because they're committed to selling 10% more in 2023 as opposed to 2022 that they're gonna hit that mark. Just because they say they're committed to selling 10% more homes in 2024 does not mean they're gonna hit their mark. These are the exact same calls that were happening in 2007 as things were collapsing, all right? This is why this is the greatest opportunity for you to be prepared. All right, here we go.
What they have communicated to Wall Street. So we ask for your help on a commitment to you that we would use that not to shore up our margin, but instead pass that on to our customers in the form of reduced sales price, in the form of lower interest rates, so that they...
Oh gosh, this is getting me so excited. Okay, this is what he has just asked. A bigwig at Lennar, one of the largest home builders in the country, is asking all of its builders, all of its partners to take less. We want to pay you less. If you will agree to do more for less, we are committed to selling 10% more homes, but only if you take less for helping us do that. They're saying we are not going to increase our margins. We are going to simply take that money and pass it on to the consumer. We're going to lower the home prices. Do you see what is happening? Price concessions. This is exactly why I built the course last December, warning everybody about this. Now it's happening. We have 2 more, 3 more at most quarterly cycles to get through till you see massive price drops. This is an inside, you're not going to get this any information anywhere on YouTube, unless somebody obviously just copies this video. This is a recording between the company, the big home builders that everybody on Wall Street's been saying, oh, it's such a great time to buy. Just buy. They're collapsing. They can't lower the price anymore. They've done everything they can. They are holding on by threads in this industry. This is what's happening. And they can't. Now think about this. Think about it. They're asking all of their partners, which I don't blame them for doing this, but you have to see the bigger picture here, to take price concessions, because it's not being said, but it's being said, hey, if you don't do this, we're not going to be able to hire you for as many homes. We're collapsing. The market's collapsing. This is amazing information. Okay, here we go.
Can afford to buy a home, and that's why we're able to have greater volume than the rest of the industry. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Kent to walk you through a little bit more detail on the strategy and where we are and what we're going to execute. Kent?
Yeah, thank you, John, and thank you to all the partners on this call for all that you do day in and day out. In the spirit of partnership, I do want to share additional strategies we're employing that should benefit you as well. To support the starts pay strategy John described, we've been very active in buying land during this inflationary interest rate environment in order to collectively position ourselves for both short and longer term growth.
They're overleveraged.
We continue our laser focus on quickly solving supply chain constraints through local and national combined and creative efforts. While supply chains have improved, we're working hard to make systematic changes to better position ourselves and our partners for whatever supply does tighten.
Real quick, when they use the word creative, that's because they mean they can't sell. This is no longer a normal market. When you use the word creative finance, creative something, creative this, it's because they're like, We're screwed. It is no longer business as usual. You need to be ready for this. I want you taking full advantage of this. Before you think about stopping, paying a bill that's going to get reported to your credit, you need to seriously weigh what is happening right now. The greatest opportunity of your life is before you. Over the next 2 to 3 years, people like myself, and type 5 down below if you're one of those people that are getting ready to just crush it in real estate. When all the other gurus on real estate that have only lived during a time of low interest rates, they've never lived through the last housing crisis. They don't know what it feels like. They don't have information like this, or they don't want to tell you because that information doesn't sell books. If you're ready to do it, type 5 down below. Here we go. Now, you heard him talk about, how we're positioning ourselves for better. We bought more land. That's called leverage. They're over leveraged. You want to see something that's going to fall like a rock? Talk about land values. And we're not talking about farmland values, things like that. We're talking about developing residential or commercial real estate. Okay, here we go.
Again, we have seen a significant improvement to even flow production in most divisions in 2023. We will continue to push for even more predictability to help you in 2024. Through these efforts and focus, we've drastically reduced build cycle times by 2 full months this year. For you...
Okay, I'm going to end that call on this. He says we've increased build time and some other issues, supply chain issues. They're comparing it to 2022 when we had abysmal numbers in the building industry. So it's really easy when they go month on month or year on year. Oh, look, it's so much better than last year. Well, of course, we had a tragedy. So that's just rhetoric. That's all it is. The point is this. You have the greatest opportunity before you. Are you ready for it? I'm going to put a handful of links down below. 80% off real estate crash course, how you can take action right now to go out and crush it. Choice is yours. You don't have to buy the course. Who cares? Just invest in yourself. The point being is I want to put together the tools and treat it like consulting, because as times change, more lessons come on and you have the information at your fingertips to make good, conscious decisions to absolutely crush it. No one's going to tell you that here. Links down below. Hope you have a great day. The Real Estate Ninja is out.